Yeah.
So now, when we transition like too quickly now to fight climate change, what happens? To school, when a something else, now it's no longer relevant.
Exactly. So
Now we must keep abantu abasebenzayo because their skills. Umuntu oqala ukusebenza na 22. Manje they are 40. They are far from retirement, but manje iskills are seko relevant.
Hi, guys. Molweni. You know me, I'm Saint Barry, and of course, Namtase, Ishura Michael. And on today's episode, Buffet, on the Star Realm podcast, Slays, Nama Stars. Oganjan.
Obviously, on 100.
Who is that?
I'm not sure about that.
You're not
thank
sure?
you. Yeah.
So
a star on what? I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
Mario playing a huge influence,
already.
in us, shaping us. But I will get into that. Let's just start by you introducing yourself. But we background yako with a brief background of
Just basics.
where you come from. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for my compliments. In case there were nyakhohlwa somewhere, but thank you so much for your compliments.
Yeah.
Andile Mlambo. I was born in Tembisa. Do you look at the camera? Look at you.
Anyhow.
Because you tuning for your pagat. Anyway, Andile Mlambo. I'm from Tembisa. I'm a climate activist, and we met here at Ubuntu where I'm a consultant. You know, come here three times a week on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So far, we are pushing struggles at climate justice right now. Amazing things have been happening during the year, like the passing by the president of the Climate Act, the Climate Change Act, and we're also fighting in the ESCOM and NERSA, to increase our tariffs. Things. These are energy matters. Remember, one of the struggle that we're fighting is that to stop using coal as a source of producing electricity, as it is right now. And ESCOM now, they're pushing forward, but tariffs while we're saying we want to move to renewable energy. Community-owned renewable energy, solar, which can be owned by a community, which are going to be cheaper
They are going to
for
be
the
cheaper.
community, understand? So these are the battles that we are fighting. Naselimpopo, there is one, Musina Mokado, Special Economic Zone. They want to displace people, indigenous people in that place, Big multinationals are going there to fight. You guys check out my articles that I've written. Some have been published by Daily.
Even there, just drop your platform once.
No,
Check
I'm
out.
to having a conversation. This is an agent matter. You saw
agent
this past
matter,
weekend. What happened? We were in spring, but it was very cold.
It was,
These are the impacts of climate change. It's happening, guys. It's real. It affects us individually, but collectively. As coming here to the space, you can imagine there were people who had bookings here. They had planned things. But because of the climate change, as it happened, they couldn't couldn't see through their program as they planned. So this is Luisa as I'm a climate activist, among other things. And in the of food, I mean, people take for granted how climate change affects food security. How food is produced. Before
let's break it down. Climate change, which is like what's climate change for to this concept, climate change. Can you break it down?
So it's a good question, and these are the conversations we must have all the time. To make it easier for Wonkomo. So go for example. So climate change is the change of our weather patterns have changed. Like now we are in spring, but it was very cold. It was snowing. So our patterns of weather have changed because of it's human-induced climate change that we're having. How we produce, largely South Africa, how we produce electricity using coal. So those are the causes of climate change. More fossil fuel industries. And so, to give you an example, so when weather is normal, you'll have, let's talk about food, as I was saying.
Food.
We know at a certain season, kunokudla esidlayo. Winter. But magnet climate change now is cold. What happens to that food? Now you can't produce the kudla. So what happens? Abantu mele basebenzisa ama GMO. then it becomes more expensive. Kunamanye ama-veg nama-fruit wathola unyaka wonke. Ama-avocado manje wathola unyaka wonke. Do you understand? Those are the impacts of climate change. Because let me finish the point. So now we can, even the farmers, people who produce our food, the food is expensive and stuff. Now they can't plan anymore. Ufaka ama-seeds wakwazi ukuthi imvula mele ine, spring is coming, and then you're going to get your yield maybe in January, in June. Now you can't because the weather patterns have changed. Now you can't plan. What do? You resolve to technology, which is expensive. So who must bear the price? Now they must transfer the price. Because if it costs them more,
they gotta maintain the budget.
On the
now you must pay more for them to sustain their businesses. And then us, as you know, as a country, the major problem. So we'll cut, here's the triple challenge that we're facing nationally, which is what? Inequality, unemployment, and poverty. Very big. We're not an equal country. So we can face the same problem, Mara, it's not addressed the same. For instance, when it was cold, like 2 people lost their lives over the weekend.
Yeah, I heard that.
They were reported. But now, they lost their life. Yeah.
Really? Joe
because it was cold. So now if it's cold, we are facing this. Omunye umuntu angisabu point inequality. Omunye umuntu uhlala esababa. Indlu yakibo is nice, is insulated. It doesn't matter for them if there's floods, it's cold. Bashab. Shisa kakhulu bashab. What about abantu abahlala in former settlement? When it's cold. There's an example ukuthi mabathi uthanda summer or winter. But if ukhule grand, uzothanda winter. But if ukhulu hlupheka, uthanda summer because there is less. So climate change, it affects even the people on the ground. Simple things. That's how.
Can you go back?
Nami ngifuna understand leyo point. Khona uthi umuntu baka like obviously ukhetha ukuthi uthanda iwinter or summer. And umuntu bakasho kanjalo is either ukhule grand. Most bakathi uwinter ukhule grand. Angikhulanga grand but I love winter.
No, bengisho nje example, a secular example that is there to say. But you will say this because you born in path. You have clothes to wear. But umuntu onganazo lezo zinto lezo.
Yeah, very.
When it's flooding, they won't say that. They won't say that to you.
Okay.
For them, that's better because it's less in Pasha.
Oh, okay.
Ugeza, all these things, you understand. So if the example is the answer, I want to collect grand. But I can't say that if we could. Hence, I was saying, even now, it impacted a lot of people.
It does.
It did, because when I was with in the summer, at least, we could.
Yeah.
If you're poor, everyone is in the house. It's cold. That's pouring more.
Okay.
So these are some of my examples just to show you that climate change is affecting to say that. And then the inequality I was talking about. Then on poverty, still we have poverty in our country. So in pockets you might not see it depending on who you might not see it. But when you're in the enclave, you're seeing nice cars here, but you see reality of the country.
Especially people with like skin, like abantwana melanin skin.
You understand? We still have a poverty. And unemployment is still an issue. With more and more people are still unemployed, so they cannot afford to adapt to change. To give an example, we must adapt when things change. So where they are changed, and now we have floods. Someone who's employed, we are change your roof. No, they can afford that.
Exactly, they can.
What about the person who's unemployed? They have been unemployed for many years. And they're not employable because before. So now climate change is a factor in many ways. It comes to food, it comes to housing, it comes to us now, even the education. Imagine now, because of in the education and employment, now we have this big movement, maybe it's going to just energy transition. To move away from our fossil fuel industries to a low carbon economy. So now if you are moving to a low carbon economy, what happens? Now there is a closure of our coal mine. What happens to the workers of our mine now? Their families, that community around. Remember, if in a mine, kunabantu who are formally employed,
Yeah.
then informal
Informal
side of it.
Oh,
I'm a
informal side of it,
businesses,
your business side. Okay, yeah.
Omunye
Oh, yeah.
empumalanga
Street vendors,
Okay,
yeah.
understand? It's an economy around the formal people. So
that's so
manje, because of just transition, kuvalwa ama coal mine.
It's going
Never,
to impact
because of
everybody.
climate change, and let's want to mitigate to stop our fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Collectively, must say is a bad with floods, with droughts, and I'm at day zero. You saw in PE where they were reaching day zero where there's no water.
Yeah.
So when you open a tap, there's no water because the rivers are dry. You know where water comes from? I must open in a tap only.
No.
Yeah.
And it must come from rivers.
Yeah.
The rivers get dry, it drought.
Yeah.
They were reaching day zero. You understand? What happens?
No water.
So now, then it affects people, things get expensive, then it goes back to the working sector. Manje bathini, let's move from e-motor, let's just petrol, ne? Let's move to ama EV, electric vehicles.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
now
yeah.
we have Epitori, kune vehicle industry, motor industry, lapha benza imoto.
Epitori?
Yeah.
Epitori.
Yeah.
How long has it
Epitori
been
nasekhaya,
established?
it's been there for long.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Produce
Okay.
imoto, ne?
Yeah.
So now, when we transition like, too quickly now,
Yeah.
to fight climate change, what happens? To school, when a profundele something else, now it's no longer relevant.
Exactly. So
Now we
imagine-
must keep abantu abasebenzayo because their skills. Umuntu oqala ukusebenza na 22. Manje they are 40. They are far from retirement, but manje iskill set is relevant. Now we're moving to new technologies. Now they become unemployed. Same again. Iqalile with there's a coal power station eValue in Mpumalanga bathi Komati. eValue. Anyway, it was scheduled to be closed.
Yeah.
But because nature's transition was part of it,
Yeah.
by Val, what happened to those workers?
Obvious.
Those families.
Yeah. Hence, even the unemployment rate irrised this year.
You see how climate change connect?
Impact.
Because
I
of
see.
something
I
A1, but
I
the
see.
nexus that connects it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Affects unemployment, job security,
Yeah.
lose it, education. Now we must change our course. Go on nama course, nama degrees, nama diploma
Yeah.
irrelevant now.
Ish.
But someone invested in you. Ish. Ukuthi ufunde laphaya. Now you can work and give back. You want to say it.
Yeah.
So those are the issues, how it connects us all to this point.
Yeah, it's so deep. Hey, let's take a moment. Let's take it in. Let's play a game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a simple game, ne? That's it.
Okay.
Saying me.
Yeah. I'll say.
You say me.
When what you're going to do, ne? It's read my lips, and you're going to pass the message to Saint.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh my.
So you pass that.
Like,
Wait, so you're not gonna say
Yeah,
anything?
yeah, I'm not.
You reading the lips? the
Yeah,
mouth.
now you do the same thing.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
read your lips.
Yeah. She
She
must
say,
Yeah,
and then she must read my
your lips. They say now you speak out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, andiva kwanto guys. Yeah, abahlebi. Abahlebi. Must I
Zakala,
say?
yeah.
Okay. Yo, don't be fast. Don't be fast.
Uvendo mnaza.
Wait, can you repeat it one more time? One more time. Unendu minus
Hi.
You guys are never
Okay, ona uvendo
What did you read?
Orlando Pirates.
Dithe mna uthini ngo pro.
Oh!
Uthini ngo pro.
Yes!
Naspina
Feeling uthi athi Orlando Pirates.
Yabona ngizindele abo minus 3.
Hayi,
Mhlawumbe ngoba uwinile izolo so nami ngiyebhakaniye but. And then last example ngiyenze nge-climate change. Yabona njengamanje, do you know why ama-soccer games adlala ebusuku manje? Because of the heat.
Oh yeah.
During the day, ama-player can suffer heat stroke.
Yeah.
So ama-game, that's why abayenza
But
late.
they running.
Yabona? And then what is the danger of having ama-game late? Saying
The safety.
of the supporters.
Just
Now
the
they must drive home. It's not safe. You see how climate change
it's
it
impact.
intersects
Let's
in many
let's
ways.
lie.
Affects our sports, our education. Yabo.
It's literally our lifestyle.
It is.
Affected,
Yeah.
So we must stand up now and say,
Ne?
yeah, but we want change and we
yeah.
want it now.
Yeah.
Call out our government, Especially if they are trying, but they must push. It be fast.
Yeah.
Understand? Hence, I was saying, I'm sure they passed the Climate Change Act.
Yeah.
And then now there's what we call the Conference of the Parties. COP, which is COP29 is coming in November, December, where all the countries who are party to United Nations, they come, they meet, they discuss these issues. And then as they discuss, that's what they formed last year, COP28 in Dubai. I was there. And then, so what they're doing now, they set up what they call...
Whoa.
Let me finish my point. Okay. So what they formed is a loss and damage fund.
Okay.
So this year we're calling Guti, they must by operationalize. It must be operational. You want that fund whenever there is disaster, remember two floods.
Yeah.
The people of us KZN, they're still
adjust.
To adjust. So we need that funds because the people who are the biggest polluters is those countries, those global north countries, the biggest polluters. So when
this new technology now,
and as they were industrializing, pollution was very high. So the pollution is very high. Air quality is very bad. Because it's same.
From
so where to? So
we understand.
Report.
Where's you guys? I'm mine.
Exactly.
Exactly
there.
Yeah.
That's not a mountain. It's not a mountain.
It's not a mountain.
Those are mine dams.
Yeah.
Oh. Those are mine dams, and they are radioactive.
I didn't know that.
Radioactive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you break that down?
So let me give you an example. So njengamanje ngiyakhumbula abantu bebakapa lamatshe lawo yabawathengisa people to eat.
Oh yeah.
Understand ukuthi abantu abaningi because nathi as people I'm sure we live sometimes in isolation.
Yeah.
We don't take time ushaye around the clinic and ask ukuthi abantu abagulayo la kahle yini what's the number one killer. Remember when there was the indaba HIV, they would bring this information to us to say most people
when there was still a pandemic.
But there are these ones asitshelo. I prioritize njenge TB, HIV. You understand to say they are radioactive, those chemicals that are in the dams now, What happens? Magnet dust, manje it was supposed to be. Yeah, but what happens?
Exactly, we breathe in layer dust layer, and our lungs is.
And the lifespan, lifespan. It shortens the lifespan.
It shortens because our lungs are. Of course.
It's informal settlement. Sifike sakhatha imithi yonke just because sifuna
informal.
Like ubasa siphila emikhukhwini la. Sifuna ubasa sipheka with the same kunis so you can understand ba kwenzeka ntoni. And
yes.
And also as indaba othitha ngazo this
very close.
We are very close. So how do we then adjust Tina and how do we then speak out as the youth of Slovo? But this is not something that's supposed to be happening because there are no places to stay.
Yeah.
I think it's the role of the government to settle around, in proper places. For instance, if you can see the chairs I'm wearing here. So the Constitution, you guys are aware. The Constitution. Bill of Rights.
We are.
Section 2, Bill of Rights. Section 24 of about we have a right to a clean environment. Clean and safe environment. It's your right. In proper places. Hence, earlier on I was talking about inequality. Where, you have this thing. Famous example, Sentin Alexander.
Exactly.
So when they were doing a special planning, because in the they are planning. So mark plan for certain people, they plan properly. They consider those things.
But
okay, here, how much pollution is there? I guess you guys had a coal-powered fire station which was closed. Amatawa.
Yes, they were
our people.
Exactly.
Before. You will be by inhaler. Directly, there to understand. It was not supposed to be allowed in the first place.
It wasn't because you know what
people cannot stay here. You understand? Imagine now. We ask good. Sorry, not to catch you say.
It's okay.
Understand? Imagine you cut the trees, and the yeast just absorb carbon dioxide.
Give out oxygen.
Now you're cutting something that's gonna be somehow absorbing the pollution because you need to leave. You need to. what?
Sustain,
Survive.
yeah.
Because of that triple challenge, poverty, unemployment. People now are forced to make impilo, la kungaphileki khona. Bese yenzani? It goes back to health. Now it's going to impact you because it's going to cost the government again. Because the Mongula, who must take care of you? Clinics are not for free. Medicine is not for free.
Yeah.
It goes back to Abantu.
Yeah.
They could have but redirected those resources and resettle people in places that really is right, where they can enjoy the environment and stuff. As I was talking about energy,
Yeah.
where we have community-owned renewable energy.
Yeah.
Amasola owned by us. So as I want to find a stock fair.
Yeah.
It's a stock fair, we own it. Here's a solar plant here. They are connected to the grid.
Yeah.
And then it's owned by us. We are responsible for it instead of paying about ESCOM because the prices they're charging, they're ridiculous.
That's smart.
It is.
Okay. So these are the things that we must call out for, and we must not be quiet.
Yeah.
We must be inquisitive. We must ask the questions. As young people especially.
Yeah.
Don't shy away from asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You two discuss and you must speak out and say, this is not acceptable. Not in our lifetime, not now. It cannot happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, Khotmane, before Sivala, I think we need another episode with you.
to
Yeah.
actually
We are definitely going to make
Yeah.
that possible because I kind of feel like there's a whole lot that you still have to enlighten us about. So I just want us to tap into like our organizations. Which organization are you currently moving in on? Because I know which umuntu wama campaign and even at life. So can you just briefly share?
Before answering, shout out on you, Uguye Dubai. Oh my God, I can't just let that pass. You would go say Dubai. Oh, shout out.
Okay, so
Shout out to that. Because there's change.
Mina go conference, ne?
Conference.
Obviously, it was hosted in Dubai. There's no other way I could have put it.
Oh, okay.
For instance, the first one I was invited was COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, and then there was COP27 where the loss and damage.
Okay.
It was launched. It was in Egypt. COP27. We were having this discussion. So for me, it was not a vacation. It's to speak about these issues of climate change. It's a conference of the parties, of the countries, the United Nations, which are represented there.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, it was not the way.
Obviously, no, but I'm saying shout out with
to
change
see,
and business,
to
you
see,
know.
but,
Yeah.
I think it's slightly focused why I was there.
Yeah.
If we need to come to a conference,
Ngiyafuna vele.
who conference? No, where there's
Conference.
negotiations.
Oh,
and
okay.
then
But I believe, Khotman, as you are traveling, there are things that you see out there that you wish to come and implement, or in these conferences, things that you discuss on those conferences that you like to implement on our societies. Like, let's come back to that question. My organization. I think that's how you are playing that role of making that change within the environmental justice.
Yeah, okay, so Minangu organization is solidarity, ne? Environmental solidarity. So swela kuma forum at Life Africa, Johannesburg.
Okay.
We fall under so at Life in a forum, but sebenza nama grassroots organizations. So you should be having your own organization, having an impact like Pomakon.
Okay.
Because you cannot influence the world. But to share la uphuma khona.
Yes.
Fact.
It's an organization that we is Tembisa Kempton Park because it's dealing with equality, mostly equality, which is very poor, like I was saying. So we'll sit down next if I get invited.
Definitely.
Speak about the PM 2.5 that we face the quality of the air, the ambient air that we breathe. So I'm a campaignist now, just to call out to those industries that side which are reduced. Remember that side in the airport, industry, chemical industry. It's very bad.
And there's a whole lot of firms that side.
And what is the industry area? So as they introduce some technology, we hold them to account to say, but okay, we've to desulfurize.
Okay.
We need to follow up as
Yeah.
an NGO to say this is our space, this way we operate. What happens to our people? This is what I want. So we have this. There's a theme that we usually use with the polluter must pay. So if you pollute, you must take care of it.
Exactly.
Responsibility about.
That's
We cannot just pass on your responsibility. Government, I don't know, the polluter must pay, you know. So there are two sides to this thing. Abanye abantu bafeel ngathi the polluters, if you say these things, abasabi,
Yeah.
because they do have the money. Njengamanje Europe has introduced what is called CBAM, carbon border adjustment mechanism, to saying if anything is produced using fossil fuel, if you're exported, they will tax them high or cut them from exporting. But you're talking to companies who have money.
So they obviously they're willing to pay.
But
They
we
are
know we
going
do
to
it.
pay.
So that's where we come in as grassroots organizations supported by AdLife to say, because we do have a platform, the CR, Center for Environmental Rights. These are lawyers of environment. They are graduated from there. So they do support us to say, let's take them to court. Let's not keep quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
love that.
another thing you must understand, Uti,
Yeah.
must call about the youth. General said, it's not a man in anyone. You're gonna grow.
Yeah.
So there's some issues that it's not only because you are youth. It's you fight them now, or you let them go now, but they'll catch up with you.
Okay.
You understand?
Yo, yeah.
Yeah. So you must not
Whatever
isolate
movement that you
issues.
do, manje,
It's not just a youth issue. You must not isolate
you're
issues.
gonna answer food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm youth now. Izokuthola futhi phambili.
Repercussions.
Future generation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
repercussions.
Because nathi khona abantu abasilwele abazali bethu.
Exactly.
Nathi we must pass the baton kulabo abazayo futhi, you understand?
Thank you, Khotmane.
Yeah. Hi, but Andile.
Issue.
Yo.
That's a guy who I like.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for watching the show. Huge shout out to you, but Andile.
No, shout out to you guys.
Sabonga.
Msebenzi, yabo.
Yo, sabonga.
Shout out
Oh
to
my
you
God.
guys. Keep
Thank
on
you.
pushing, ne?
Yeah, we are.
Pushing the message, you know. One climate justice, justice now. Sayfuna.
Sayfuna
Nah,
Climate
manje.
justice now.
Yeah.
So you know, guys, what to do.
You are like her, you comment, you
Subscribe.
are share, you are subscriber.
Yeah.
Kunjalo nje.
Kunjalo nje.
Issue.
Star Realm Podcast, guys.
Away.
Bye. We out.